Hey, what's up, you guys? Rather Cheap Books here, and welcome to Astronomy August, episode 1. So for this first video, it's going to be based on the book Astrophysics for Young People in a Hurry by Neil deGrasse Tyson with Gregory Moore. Boom. Well, here it is. And so I'm already on chapter 3. I just read the first 2 chapters to kind of get ahead. So here are some facts for you guys for at the beginning of the video. So for the facts for chapter 1 is there are 4 forces of nature that are, and they are gravity, strong force, weak force, and electromagnetism. So gravity affects big stuff, strong force, weak force, and electromagnetism affects small forces, or small things like electrons and stuff like that. If you've ever heard of somebody use a term called the positron, that just means that it's a positive electron, not a proton. There are things called quarks and leptons, and quarks together make up protons and neutrons, and leptons go into electrons. And just a reminder for everybody, we are all just stardust floating around building life. And as far as chapter 2 goes, the only thing I've written down is that in 1666, Sir Isaac Newton figures out gravity, and that the laws affect everywhere from here to far away. And I'm back with 2 more chapters read and some more astrophysics facts. So for chapter 3, I wrote that Arno Penzias and Robert Wilson accidentally detected signals from light from the early universe in 1964. And what they discovered was the cosmic microwave background. And what the cosmic microwave background is just leftover light from the early universe. And from chapter 4 of the book, I wrote that people discovered cosmic rays, which are rays mostly of protons that beam through the intergalactic space at the speed of light. There are also things called dwarf galaxies, which are in the universe in a ratio of 10 to 1, so 10 dwarf galaxies to 1 large galaxy. And they're just miniature galaxies, and the Milky Way actually had one miniature dwarf galaxy, and it cannibalized it, and it's named Sagittarius dwarf system. There was also a thing that used to be called blue galaxies, which are galaxies that have like really dim or not so bright stars, and they just end up disappearing, so nobody knows if they just fully disappeared or maybe they just died off. There's also a thing called vacuum energy, which are particles that pop up and collide in vacuums in space, creating an outward pressure in space-time. And there are also stars called quasars, which are super bright galaxy clusters. And for chapter 5, the last chapter I just read right now, 85% of gravity is measured in anti-gravity or dark matter. So 85% of the gravity that is measured is called dark matter. And so there's 6 times as much dark matter than there's normal matter, and without dark matter, there would not be here at all. We would not be here at all. So next up, here are some facts about chapter 6, and there's a good bit, so buckle up. So this is where they talk about Einstein's theory of general relativity, which is everything in the universe moves under the influence of gravity and how gravity shapes space itself. They also talked about the existence of gravity waves, which, if everybody remembers, like a couple years ago, they talked about those 2 black holes that were colliding, and they finally discovered the gravity waves. That's what they were talking about. And there were so many people that were against Einstein himself that in 1931 they made a book called 100 Authors Against Einstein, where all he had to say was if there was proof or there was evidence of what I was doing was wrong, then one would have been enough. And also the theory of general relativity, it says that big objects warp space around them. And also Edwin P. Hubble discovered that the universe is expanding. Einstein's Einstein's greatest blunder was the cosmological constant, which he says, this is his biggest mistake, was finding out that there's something going against his work as theory of general relativity. And the constant, which just means that there's something that goes against gravity that makes that the universe is expanding, which is the cosmological constant, like I said. And then later on, they renamed the cosmological constant dark energy. And 68% of the matter in universe is dark energy. 27% of no, 68% of the universe is made up of dark energy. 27% of the universe is made up of dark matter, and 5% of the universe is normal matter. And now here are some facts about chapter 7. So hydrogen was made in the Big Bang. With the Big Bang, hydrogen was one of the first molecules. That's why it's the first in the periodic table. About 2 out of 3 atoms in the human body have hydrogen in them, and about 9 out of 10 atoms in the universe have hydrogen in them. Helium, there's 4 times as much helium than any other element in the world, and 1 out of every 100 atoms in the universe, it should be helium, and that should be the upper limit. Like, there hasn't been anywhere, like in galaxies or anything, where it's not 1 out of 100. Carbon is also considered the life molecule. If there's carbon somewhere, then that means there should be life. And aluminum is the most abundant in Earth's crust, and titanium is 2 times as strong as aluminum, which is why Apple decided to make the switch from aluminum casings to titanium, because titanium is 2 times as strong as aluminum. And iron is also considered the star killer, because once iron starts absorbing energy, whether it's smashed together or ripped apart, it always absorbs energy. So once the stars start making iron, then that means that the star is at the end of its life, and it's eventually going to die pretty soon. And also, iridium is the most common in large metallic asteroids. So this is the facts for chapter 8, which I only have 2 facts because it was a pretty short chapter. The 2 facts are that Saturn's days are only 10.5 hours, and that Mars' largest mountain, Olympus Mons, is 65,000 feet tall and 300 miles wide at its base. Now here are the facts for chapter 9. So for chapter 9, I have the last 2 supernovas that happened in the Milky Way was in 1572 and in 1604. Next, William Herschel discovered Uranus in 1781. Herschel also discovered infrared light. In 1801, a German physicist founded UV light. And Carl G. Jansky built the first successful radio telescope between 1929 and 1930. Now, chapter 10 was another short one, and I only have two more facts. So for chapter 10, we have there was a Mars-sized object that hit Earth, and that's how we have the moon. And also Halley's Comet, the infamous Halley's Comet that passes by every 75 years. The last time it's made around was in 1986, so the next time that it'll come around is in 2061. Now for the penultimate chapter, chapter 11, here are the facts. So in 1990, the Voyager 1 took the pale blue dot photo, which is right here. And Alpha Centauri is only 4 light years away, which means that it's 4 years. It's the closest star system that's neighboring to us. So it means that it takes 4 light years for light to get from Alpha Centauri to us. And also Kepler was the satellite Kepler was made to find exoplanets. So in 1967, Anthony Hewish and Jocelyn Bell discover a pulsar, which is a neutron star that sends out beams of light. And in 1995, the first exoplanet was ever discovered. And last but not least, for the last chapter of chapter 12, is basically just a wrap up of everything and just kind of a chapter for everyone to think bigger. So the facts that I wrote down are just the astrophysics teach us that we are not the center of the universe. In January 2000, the Hayden Planetarium in New York City was rebuilt. And the last thing that I want you guys to remember always is to think bigger than yourself. So that's going to be it for this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully you guys will learn a good bit about astrophysics within the first book. So if you guys do like this, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to subscribe, because next Monday will be the next episode of Astronomy August. And I still haven't picked out the book, but you know, I'll let you guys know on social media, so make sure to go follow all my social down in the description down below, and let me know what was your favorite fact, and let me know any other facts that you have down in the comment section. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.